Game Breaker TV.
You are watching the first and longest running new media broadcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Welcome to Game Breakers The Republic. You will never need to listen to any other Old Republic podcast ever again. Oh, who were they kidding? They're just a bunch of nerds geeking out about the Old Republic on the internet. But here's your host, letting the Wookiee win. It's Larry Everett.
Hey everybody, this is Larry Everett, and you are watching the 193rd episode of The Republic. 193. Coming up on 200 here really quickly. Today we are talking about the Marauder changes, and the Juggernaut changes, and the Commendation changes for Star Wars The Old Republic. And, but first, let me introduce my host from the Bad Feeling podcast. This is Chuck. Hello, Chuck. How are things?
Greetings.
How's it going over there at the Bad Feeling podcast?
Good. A little scary now that I see in chat that my co-host is actually watching us at the same time. So,
oh man,
I guess I better be good.
But now you know what the thing is, though. We can talk about him, and
that's true.
And he won't have any. We can just totally ignore that chat room. We won't be able to say anything.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that idea. All right.
Well, Chuck here is from Bad Feeling Podcast. Like I mentioned, he also is has an epic beard. I mean, he absolutely outdoes my beard and any other beard that we have ever had on this show. Because Kyle, who was on a couple weeks ago, has a pretty decent beard as well. But you blow us all away.
He does have a very good beard. I was admiring that on the show. I thought to myself, I'm like, the one thing that I do have is that I can't fit the whole thing on camera. I noticed that I gotta slide all the way. I'm gonna slide back so you get the whole thing in camera. All right, there you go.
There you go.
All right.
It's pretty amazing.
Just so you get a full shot of it. So, I mean, I know that we're here to talk about SWTOR, but I also know about this whole beard thing that you got going on, and I think part of my deal is to try to convince you not to shave this beard off. Is that what that's what I feel in my heart of hearts that I need to be doing here.
Well, what I'm doing, just so the chat room knows, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, I've just a couple times mentioned that I'm going to do a charity thing. I'm actually doing it tomorrow. It is for the American Cancer Society, and who does research and support and all sorts of amazing stuff for cancer research and patients and that sort of thing. I know my aunt, actually, she's had cancer and she's gotten help from them, and it's just they also do No Shave November. Well, I haven't been shaving, and which I usually do. I mean, even though I have a beard, I like trim it up and make it look decent-ish.
You gotta get the edges every once in a while.
Yeah.
A little clean here and there, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been doing that, and oh my gosh, that is horrible. I mean, that is just like, I have this usually. I have something in this area here, and I haven't been doing anything. But what I'm going to do, since this will actually be the last weekend that I can do anything. I was going to have it on the very last week of November, but this actually tomorrow is going to be the last weekend I'd be able to do any kind of broadcast or anything. Starting at 6:30. Well, hold on, we'll do Pacific time. Pacific time would be 4:30. Right?
I'm trying to count.
Carry the one. But any rate,
I'm totally gonna be screwed on this DPS change, man. Because if I can't count this is gonna be terrible.
No, I'm. It's gonna be at about 5:30 my time, which is Central Time. So I guess that's 3:30 Pacific Time is when I'm going to start, and I'm going to have several. I'll announce them when I actually am doing the show. And I'm going to play... Actually, I'm going to play Tor, because that's my favorite game. And I'm going to play SWTOR. I'm going to play a smuggler, which is one of the coolest classes, one of the coolest stories in the game. I'm going to play that as long as it takes, or at least until I finish it, till I get to level 55. And I'm going to have thresholds for people to meet. Once the first threshold is going to be just $100. If I can reach $100, I'm going to shave off part of my beard. And ultimately, I'll have nothing on my face, and I'll clip this off too.
Yeah, that's saying a lot there. Okay, so I mean, it's not just the beard. I thought it was going to be just the beard. You're adding the ponytail to it too.
Yeah, this actually, and I've done this before. I've actually donated my hair before, and this will be donated.
Done the locks of love thing.
Yep, absolutely. So that starts. It'll be on my channel. It won't be on Gamebreaker's channel. It'll be on my channel, which is Hyperspace Beacon, twitch.tv/Hyperspace Beacon. You'll be able to catch that there. Maybe I can talk Gary into hosting, so even if you happen to stumble upon a Gamebreaker's channel, you'll be able to catch my charity drive. So
see, I think you need an alternate option so that you could donate in to keep portions of your beard. So that you can. We can flip it. You know.
I thought about that, but I don't think I can grow my hair back in a couple of hours. If somebody, because. That would be cool. I would totally love to be able to flip it one way or the other, but it's a little bit difficult to.
Well, but if you do a match, say, okay, $100 to shave the burns off, right? And somebody says, okay, bam, here's $100, you keep the burns. You can raise it up to, okay, $200, now shave the burns, and do a matching thing, try to get people to match it, and that way, those of us who don't believe that razors are meant to be anything in the world. Can help out as well.
We'll see. Well, I'll think about that. Shave it all except.
You're ready to get rid of it, aren't you?
Well, it's not me. Actually, I love it. I need to trim it up and make it, so it doesn't itch so bad. But my wife wants to get rid of it. She can't take it. She's like, yeah. And I'm sorry, everybody. Wife trumps everybody. That's just the way it works. And actually, I'd actually, as the chat room's saying, I should shave everything off except for the chin hawk, which would be like right here. And that would, I've got like 3 inches about off my chin. That would be one heck of a chin. You'll be able to see it whenever I start shaving stuff off, because I'm going to leave parts of them. I'm going to leave parts of it, and you'll see like different kinds of beards and mustaches, and if for whatever reason I finish the class story, or I finish getting up to level 55, and I still have hair on my face, I'm leaving it. So whatever's still there, you'll see it the next week, and it'll be all your fault for not donating.
Well, you better be organized with the way you shave that off, because that could end really ugly.
Yeah, I've got a plan. Or I'm gonna do it, but you'll be, and I'll do it right on the camera. I'm not gonna. I've got actually, it's not within reach, but right over here is my razors and everything, just all ready to set. It's all set up, ready to go. Yeah, it'll be fun, especially. I've shaved my head and my face before, like with these buzzers, and I've got really thick hair on my head and on my face, and so it's not gonna feel pleasant, actually.
I'll be sure to have a trumpet ready to play taps for you.
Thank you.
When it's all said and done.
All right. Well,
I completely gave up on even trying to trim this thing. It took over the whole. Even the wife can't do anything with it. It's invincible.
All right. Well. Let's talk about what's happened this week. This week, in fact, actually tomorrow, they're going to do a live stream. Star Wars: The Old Republic is doing a live stream of the Well, actually, everything. The Warrior and the Jedi Knight. You play a sniper, right? So you're an Imperial. So we'll do everything Imperial, because who played really, other than Redna, who was on the show last week, who plays Republic anymore. But,
I have done the 55. I have gone through the Sentinel story, so I mean, I've gotten that class. Yeah, I was checking that out ahead of time, and I was like, yeah, okay, now I remember this class. I hate my Sentinel, so.
Are you playing a Marauder right now? You mentioned that earlier before the show.
Yep, I started a Marauder for the 12 XP just to kind of get the feel of it, and I didn't, for some reason I didn't add it up in my head that, oh yeah, that's the imp side of the, yeah, okay, so I've kind of done the class already, yeah.
But well, you have done the Sentinel, so you have an idea of what the class is like, and they mentioned although they're doing the live stream tomorrow about it, they did post before the live stream. They posted 2 blogs about both the Sentinel and Marauder and the Juggernaut and Guardian, and I can finally, I don't know if you guys, I mean, I can say this. I'm going to go ahead and say it, even because this really isn't secret information, but I have played in the beta of Shadow of Revan. You don't have to mention if you did or not, but I'm going to mention that I have.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
Beta? What's a beta?
I don't know what you mean.
But at any rate, I can finally talk about some of the things that I've been skirting, because there's by the way, I just want to preface this by saying I am doing a show about Star Wars: The Old Republic. I love Star Wars: The Old Republic. So anything that I say critical of Star Wars: The Old Republic is because I love the game. I really do. I love a lot about the game. So when they released some of these things about the Marauder and Sentinel, I'm a little bit concerned. But first, let me just overall, do you see any major concerns with the Marauder and Sentinel?
Well, that was my question. I was like, what do you feel like is the big concern? I mean, I think there's a few things that, I mean, I love the, what's the word that they use? I love the expunge. Just using the word expunge in anything is actually kind of fun. But I mean, I think there's some interesting things that are happening in that class that could, it could break a few things and it could fix a few things. I'm really going to miss the saber throw. Like, that's one of the things I really miss, because, you know, I mean, I know it's a melee class, but that's like the one really awesome looking, at least, ranged attack.
It's not now. They're not totally getting rid of saber throw. But they are getting rid of the deadly throw, which is the one. I don't. It's one that I actually don't use that often. I use it in PvP, and that's about it. I do use it in PvP. Yeah. And by the way, Marauder is my main class. That's the one I play all the time. Yeah, I'll live stream as a Marauder. That's what I play. I PvP in it. I do raids as a Marauder, and that's pretty much my class. And I also play Annihilation spec as well, which is the not so common spec. It's still a good spec, but it's the not so common spec. The Carnage spec is the common spec. In fact, there's a bit of a battle between the Carnage spec and the Annihilation spec as to who actually does the most DPS, and most people will say the Carnage spec does, because it does a lot of burst DPS right up front, and whereas the Annihilation spec takes a little bit to build up, and so therefore most PvPers will do Carnage, because boom, they hit them real fast and then they're out, and whereas it takes a little bit to build that up in the and no, it's not double saber throw that's gone away. It's actually I'm talking in the chat room here. So your regular saber throw, the one that procs as Carnage spec, and the one that is your execute on any other spec, that's staying. Double saber throw, thank goodness, is staying because that's an amazing ability. But the one that's going away is if you play a Marauder, it's the green one. It's the green saber throw. That's the one that's going away. The green button. And what that used to do is it would reduce the effectiveness of healing on whoever got hit. And they're getting rid of that. But they're getting rid of that ability, but they're not getting rid of that debuff. That debuff is actually going to go to Crippling Slash, which we're kind of skipping around the notes here a little bit, but whatever. It's now gone into Crippling Slash, which Crippling Slash also slows as well, or that was its ability, is to slow people down, and they're going to throw in there the reduction in healing. So the problem is, and this is where I see the problem with this particular ability being, and see if you agree with me, Chuck, is that Crippling Slash is melee. It is 4 meters. Whereas the Deadly Throw, that was, 30 meters? Something along that line?
Something like that, yeah.
And although, okay, so although, again, I didn't use it very often, but in PvP, the main target of Deadly Throw were healers, because you throw it, they do less healing. They're not as effective as they were. Now it means instead of being able to do it from 30 meters away or whatever, you now have to run up to them in order to interrupt their healing. Now the question is, I don't know how much PvPing you do, but
I do. That's primarily.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Most people do. Most people doing podcasts and whatnot, their healing is, or PvP is their main thing. How effective is? I mean, how effective is that going to be in deterring that, or is it going to make a difference? Basically, that's what I'm asking. Is it going to make a difference at all in PvP?
Well, I think because one of the other things that they're adding to Crippling Slash, right, is that immobilization that they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
Where it's going to freeze the target for 3 seconds, and I think that's how they're trying to counteract that a little bit, so that you can stop them. You'll slow them down with the slash, and then you'll be able to stop them if you want to keep them close to you. But for me, being able to, especially PvP, if somebody's trying to capture a node, that ranged attack comes in like uber handy, just to be able to toss it off. Or if you get a blowback and you want to get a hit and come back at them, it's just something that is one more thing to do some DPS while you're running back at the target. And without that, that's one less tool.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it is. I mean, it's definitely one less tool, and I've always felt as a Marauder that I did not have enough tools in my belt to stop certain classes from getting nodes and whatnot, especially in PvP. And that Deadly Throw was another one we could use. We do have many of them. I don't want to say that. That a Marauder is going to be impotent now against stopping. You know what I mean? It's not like they're going to not be able to stop people, because we still have a double saber throw. If somebody's low on health, we still have our regular saber throw. We have Force Scream if they're within 10 meters or so. So that's, we're still not completely foregone, and obviously we'll have leap. We can leap to them as well. That's another thing. So, and yeah, Deadly Throw is 10 meters. I couldn't remember what it was, and I just, whenever it lights up, is when I hit it. I'm not a PvP is not my. I'll admit PvP is not my main thing. Although I do PvP, I don't want to. Say I'm not a PvPer, because I do PvP. It's just not my main thing all the time. Raiding and doing PvE content is my my big thing. But so that's one of them. And the other thing that I think is, I'm personally totally for this one. Retaliation, which I think is respite on the Republic side, that's gone. That was. Is that going to make a difference? Or do you know? Or do you know
I don't know that really made a difference. I mean, on my Sentinel, it wasn't anything that I used that often. Yeah. I don't know if that's really going to make that much of a difference.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think that the only time I ever really used that ability was when I was leveling. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once I hit like 40 something, I stopped using it altogether. because it just wasn't.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I took it out of I even took it out of the toolbar. I stuck it on a sidebar just in case, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything that was in the regular rotation.
Right. Have you speaking of that though, on any classes in general, because I know that there's other classes that are losing abilities. They're just being tossed out because do you think that especially when talking about the Marauder and the Sentinel class and whatnot, is this enough ability shrink, or do you think we could do more?
I think it could probably do some more, but I think you also don't want to really piss people off. I mean, because you get so used to that rotation that you're doing, and that's what you do in PvP. That's what you do in PvE, and the more of that stuff that you change, everybody's gonna freak out. And I mean, people are already freaking out over the changes that are happening now, and and they're not even that. It's not that. I mean, the utilities and stuff are going to be. It's going to be a different system, obviously, but you're going to have to change the way you do things. But it's really, it's essentially not going to be that life changing, So yep. I think if you really were to do that, granted a 3.0 change would be the time to do that, yep. Because that's a big game update to do. But at the same time, it's like, let's not rock the boat too much, right?
Yeah, I agree. And they're taking speaking of ability shrink, is they are taking rupture, totally different ability Rapture. Altogether.
Holy cow, that's gonna be an awesome ability. Everybody on fleet gets taken to heaven. It's amazing.
And rupture and cauterize, which cauterizes for the Sentinel. That is no longer a Marauder ability. That is strictly an Annihilation / Watchman ability. Big deal? I don't know. Did you?
See, I didn't play either of those trees.
Yeah.
So it wasn't part of my cycle.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect answer, to be honest. I mean, because I know as Carnage spec, because I try to, like I said, Marauder's like my class, and so I try to know all the other trees, even though Annihilation spec. Yeah, I think we're good. That's fine. The only thing is that's changed with this that actually has me worried just a little bit is that it's off cooldown now. Do you which spec do you play for sniper?
Oh, I just switched over. I've been, because one of the things I've been doing, kind of prepping for this, is I just sort of been, screw it, I'm gonna play a half and half, and then I'm gonna play this. I've been screwing around with my specs a lot just to kind of get a feel for different stuff, and what is a lethality? I think I'm doing marksmanship right now.
Okay.
And yeah, so I've been kind of just messing around with different specs just to play with different abilities, and yeah, so far, I mean, I wasn't lethality before, but I found a nice home with that one now.
Well, because lethality actually that relies a lot on dots, right? That's your dot spec for your sniper there, and now I've not played. I'll admit I've not played lethality, so I'm not sure the let's call it synergy of the class. Where you know when when certain things need to hit almost instinctively. Even though. Because and it's completely dot spec. That's their main thing is they throw canisters and green goop on the enemies, and you get used to. I mean, once you're into a rotation, into a rhythm, you know about when those bleeds and whatnot, or dots, whatever, are coming off. And as far as I know, as far as sniper is concerned, there's none that you can hit. You can just spam. Is it Cole? I guess Cole. But that's operative.
Is it? Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's in that spec. Damn it.
but anyway, yeah. There's really nothing that's. Everything has its own cooldown, has its own special cooldown and whatnot, and that's the way it was with Annihilation spec for Marauder, and with Rupture and Cauterize now has no They have GCD. That's it. And I'm wondering, and this is the thing I'm concerned about. I can hit Rupture as many times as I want. There's two concerns that I have about that. I can hit it as many times as I want. That means I'm going to have to pay attention to the toolbar of the guy that I'm hitting. So I got to watch that toolbar to make sure that okay, yeah, he still has it bleed. I don't want to hit my bleed yet right at this moment. The other thing is, though, on the flip side, in PvP, I can hit it as many times as I want. I can go from one enemy to the next enemy to the next enemy and dot all of these guys up until I am out of rage. And then I can build rage again, just really quickly, one button. So it's that concerns me on both sides, is that it's going to be... Marauders are going to be... Or Annihilation Spec Marauders are going to be extra deadly on PvP side, because they have 2 dots they now have 2 dots because their new ability is also a dot, and I think that doesn't have a cooldown, although I'm not sure about that.
Well, in the sniper spec, that was sort of the same. That's sort of the same deal in PvP. Is that if it's all about your rotation, and being able to get that rotation down pat, and changing that is going to make it a lot more difficult, at least in the beginning, to how you're going to do, especially PvP, because you are, okay, I'm throwing a canister now. I'm going to wait how long that effect lasts, and how many times can I stack that effect and everything else. So it's going to change a lot, but it's really just more of a gameplay thing. I don't think it's going to change like the balance of things. I don't know that the Marauder is going to be, oh crap, it's going to take everything away. I think they've removed some of the DPS from some of that so that it can kind of balance itself out. So it looks like you're doing a lot of stuff, but I don't know if it's doing as much damage.
All right, I'm with you. I honestly am. I'm just speculating because obviously none of us have PvP'd right at this point. So this is on, and just for everybody that's in the chat room, we're just speculating right now, and we don't know. Totally. And I honestly don't know. Even having been in beta, I can't. Even if I could say something, or I wouldn't know anyway. So I'm totally off the notes now, so I don't know where I am.
What about beards?
More about beards. Is there anything that really kind of stands out to you? I mean, I looked over the rage spec, and the rage spec from Marauder seems to be pretty much the same. They've got one extra ability that is, just an extra damage ability. And the same with Carnage spec. Carnage spec seem pretty much the same. They do have one extra ability as well. So, I know that. Actually, that's not true. The dots are not cleansable in PvP. These are not cleansable dots. So, yeah.
Even though adding that, what is it, the expunging camouflage, to be able to cleanse the dots is, the expungement. That's a nice little feature, but I don't know. I don't think it's really. I don't think they've broken anything yet. I think it's that's the whole fear, is that they don't want to break stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody's so ready for it to be completely broken, and I just don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I do. Okay, so I do. There's one big thing that I think happens all the time whenever you have any kind of ability crunch or ability expansion or something along that line. I do think that you change the way you play. Certain classes will not play the same. They'll play similar. I don't. I know the devs are saying no. You're not. It's gonna play basically the same. There are gonna be changes. If you're used to a certain class, you're gonna have to get used to it again. No matter what. Even if you still like it, even if it still plays very close to what you had before, you're still gonna have to fit that extra ability in. I know it took me It took me about a month to get used to doing double saber throw when that hit the Marauder. Just because I wasn't used to hitting it. I wasn't used to having it on my bar. Now I'm used to it. So there's always going to be a relearning of your class. So any other?
I see that as I kind of view that as an opportunity.
Yeah,
it's an opportunity to kind of you may be used to kind of sitting static and doing the same rotation, and this is how I play PvP. This is how I run through ops. This is what I do all the time, and it kind of shakes it up a little bit, makes you go, oh, okay, well, cool. Now it's something new to learn, and that's actually kind of cool. I think that's a good aspect of it, and it kind of keeps it. It's what it's supposed to do. It gives you the extra 5 levels, gives you something different, and something new to learn, and it helps to balance the playing field a little bit.
It makes you. I think that's where the balance is actually. Is it? Are we on the edge of changing the class completely, or is it changed just enough? You know what I'm saying? Changed just enough to be interesting. So, we'll wait and see. They did say that they did come right out and say on the Marauder with Annihilation that you're going to have to pay more attention to your dots. You're going to have 3 dots to keep track of. So, that are on all different timers. So, good luck, everybody who plays Annihilation Spec Marauder or Watchman Sentinel.
Yep.
But that's cool. I'm cool with that. But speaking of that, though, going on to the Juggernauts, which just came out today, the Juggernaut blog post just came out today, so I had time to read over it quickly, and a couple of things did come out to me that are just kind of hit me as I was reading it, and this actually is the second question here, but since we're talking about Marauders here, we have Vengeance, which is Vengeance spec right now, and what's the other side of it? I totally forget now. The other side of Vengeance spec.
The defense, or is it vigilance?
Vigilance.
Yeah.
Vigilance is the Guardian side of it. So initially, from my perspective, I also play a Juggernaut. I have a Marauder and a Juggernaut. I love the Sith Warrior. What can I tell? But the Vengeance or Vigilance spec always kind of seemed to me just like your straight DPS. You are whacking this guy with a lightsaber, and that is your job, is to hit that guy as hard as you possibly can with your lightsaber as often as you possibly can.
Not a lot of nuance.
Yeah, exactly, which is perfectly fine with me. I'm cool with that. That's the way I liked Vengeance spec, because, beating something over the head with a lightsaber is a lot of fun.
Exactly.
However, they're adding an ability, Vengeful Slam. That's the Vengeance one. I forget what it is on the. I'd have to look it up. What it is on the Guardian side. That is an AOE, and it spreads the bleed. Which I gotta admit,
to eight characters within 5 meters or whatever, or 8.
Which is cool. I'm glad that I'm glad they have. They already have an AOE. Let's be honest. They have Smash, but it's not a great AOE. I'll admit that it's not a great one. But this class isn't meant to be an AOE class, so I feel kind of funny about that. This tree isn't an AOE tree. That's rage spec. Your rage, you leap and you leap, you smash, that's rage spec. That's the other one.
So the question is, do you think they're trying to do they're trying to bring the ACs a little closer together? I mean, because it seems like they're doing a few of these things that are similar to what the Marauder does, and vice versa. So yeah, do you think that may be what part of that is?
Well, that's kind of that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering what are they doing here? That's the confusion for me. Is this feels confusing? I'm not, maybe it's not. Maybe somebody that plays, well, that's okay. Herlock in chat says that rage is more single target now, and I can see that. I can see that because you do have to have a single target in order to activate the AOE's. So I mean, I can kind of see that, but I'm just it's always felt to me though that Rage Smash Spec. I mean, that's where it came from, Smash Spec. People used to complain about it all the time, Smash Monkeys and whatnot. And that's what it's always kind of felt to me. And now, is Vengeance now going to be the new Smash Monkey? That's what I don't know.
Could be. I mean, but that was also something that was fixed, was it not?
Fixed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. What I kept when I was reading the two kind of side by side, looking at it, I'm like, wow, it's sort of strange to see that ability come into the class, because it just seems like they're just getting closer together. Those abilities are there. They may call them something different. It may be look a little bit different. It may be purple or blue instead of red or what. So it's a little bit different. But overall, it seems like you're starting to get the advanced classes that are just that the abilities. There's not that much differentiation.
Chat room saying that this ability is more of a quality of life for leveling, which. Now, I would agree with that if we got that ability earlier, but we don't get this ability until like 57.
Well, and Trix says that it's all about the devs were talking about adding AoE to all the classes as well. And that's something I have to say, like going back and playing Marauder, because my first character on SWTOR was a Sentinel, like my very first one, and not realizing what an AoE was for the most part. Like, I don't know what that. What do you mean? Okay, and so that's kind of it would be nice to have a little bit more of that, but at the same time, that's not really that's not kind of what that spec is supposed to be, or what I would think of it as. I always think of it. It's kind of a pure melee class with one ability or two, or just little ones that don't do much damage. It's just enough to shock you off a node or something,
Yeah, I actually, it's really funny you mentioned that your first one was the Sentinel. My first one was a Marauder, but the thing is, it wasn't Annihilation Spec Marauder. It was Rage Spec Marauder, and oh my gosh, that one was horrible to level up as, because I jump into something, I smash down and aggro everything, and instant death, especially on like Terrace. Like the first time through Terrace, whenever you have all the rat ghouls and whatnot, oh my gosh. Yeah, don't do that. Don't level up as a Rage Spec. Any AoE, anything.
Mine was much more, I wanted to be a Jedi. I really wanted to be, in my heart of hearts, I wanted to be a Jedi. I wanted to be good. And now that goody two shoes really ticks me off. So, it's more about an RP in that case for me. Like, that guy's just too nice, man.
What is you play a sniper now? Do you play it purely for the mechanics of it, or is there like a story reason or some other reason that you like playing a sniper?
The mechanics of it are kind of what drew me to it, And what's weird is that I haven't done an operative, so I haven't done that advanced class, which I would love to have a little bit of stealth capability, and still has some of the same rotation, but it's just something about that particular class that's a hell of a lot of fun. The story was good, I mean, obviously, but yeah, good ranged attacks, and it sounds awesome. Like when you put your headphones on, just the way that sniper rifle rattles off everything, the series of shots. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. So
yeah, and takedown is really incredible too. That's oh my gosh, that is I just finished leveling up another sniper, and takedown is one of my favorite abilities, just because of and you're right, because of that sound. That sound is
the sound.
It's just amazing. That it just sounds like the guy is dead on the other end of that. There's no question about it.
Exactly. Well, I think we were running TFB last night, and we were two snipers in there, and we're sitting side by side, and it's like 4 series of shots right in a row next to each other, like a couple of takedowns, and it's just like audible awesomeness. I was like, this is the best ever. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things about it is the sound design.
Laura, who used to be on the show, she played a sniper as well, and she she used to hate the super long rifles. What's your favorite kind of rifle? Are you into this?
I like dude, I want it long. I want moving things in it. I want like little lights flashing and a little bit of everything on it. That what is it? Is it the circle one that they just put in the cartel market with a little spinny thing in the middle?
That is the spinning, yeah.
That's wicked. That's so cool.
That is amazing.
So I mean, those things are cool. And I also played another one of the. I've got a PowerTech as well, and I got one of those. That looks like a revolver pistol, like a Western rifle or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And the sound of that thing is really amazing too. Like it's got a particular tone to it when you shoot it. That it sounds great. But yeah, I've always been a long barrel kind of guy with the sniper.
Yeah, I have to. One of the coolest things for me to do was have the tallest guy I can make with the longest rifle I could get. So the one that's like dragging on his feet when it's on his back.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it. And then when you're whipping it over your shoulder, you're like hitting the guy in front of you with the barrel. That's the
only problem that you ever have with the long rifle is that it looks like it's like stuck in your ass crack. You know, like that's the tough part. It's like it's weird when you're standing still, but other than that, it's like it looks great when you're holding it. You know.
Yeah. I'm going to level up tomorrow. I'm leveling up a gunslinger, which I've done it. I've done the Smuggler's Story before. So I've done it on a Scoundrel, but I've never played a gunslinger before.
Gunslinger, awesome class. I'm up to level 30, like 35 or something like that on JC on a gunslinger, and it is so far been one of the most fun classes that I've played. And I'm not a pub guy at all, so it's an awesome class to play.
Yeah, I've played one. Actually, I did for Massively. I actually played a free to play. I made a free to play account and made a gunslinger on that and played for Mass. I only got up to like level 30 because free to play it's just horrible once you hit a certain threshold. Yeah,
true.
But I did play a gunslinger, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I love the animations and the sound effects on Gunslinger. Oh, just actually in general on the Smuggler in general, just has some of the best animations and sound effects on it. I mean, their aggro dump, they hold up their hands and drop everything.
Dude, that's the best. I know, with the change falling out. Yeah, that's so good.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. And they also have the best out of combat heal too. You know, hitting the shooting the credit.
Oh, shooting the coin. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best one. And then they changed that though. Did you know that?
I know. I saw that too.
I am so disappointed. I didn't realize that they had changed it because I stayed away from the Smuggler for a while, and I didn't realize they had changed it. And when they changed it, it would just, I couldn't believe it. Like, really? Who was so offended by that they had to change it? Because that's why they did it. That's why they changed it. Is because somebody got offended that they were getting kicked in the nuts, or
I mean, you still technically, you kind of still do it. I mean, it's still what it looks like, no matter what. It didn't change that much. That's still what I call it. So every time I do it, I say it. So if I'm in Mumble or something, I feel bad for everybody that's in there because nut punches, whack. It's like, and the sound effect is great on that too.
Oh man, that is the most painful sound effect.
The crunch.
Oh.
Yeah. Good times.
I'm glad it doesn't actually sound like that when that happens, but oh god, that if it did, that would make the pain even worse.
Right? Yeah, totally.
Oh man, anyway, what were we talking about? We got on a tangent here. That's all right. Yeah. Whatever. We're cool.
Nut punching.
Nut punching. And unfortunately, we haven't seen, and that's going to be next week. And next week we're going to be out, because of Thanksgiving and whatnot. Next week they're talking about the Smuggler and the Sniper and all that. But I can't wait to. I look forward to talking about that. That's going to be. I love my operative. I do have an operative. I love stabbing people in the back. That's a lot of fun.
And I guess maybe that's also why I'm not like freaked out as much about some of the changes that have been talked about, is because it's not my primary class yet.
Yeah.
So who knows? Like next week on Thanksgiving, I could be throwing the turkey across the room because I'm so kicked off. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, you changed what? Oh, I don't have. Oh, no call. This is terrible. It's over.
I know. I mean, okay.
Yeah,
So, okay. Let's talk about that then, just for a second. Next week. Now, I mean, I feel you guys already because snipers pretty much lost orbital strike, a few months back. Yeah, and you're still feeling that pain. What could cause you that much pain again? What could they possibly?
Wow, that's a tough one, actually.
Could they do anything? Is there anything that they could do that would just like? Please don't do that. Please don't take away, whatever.
Well, I mean, the thing that you rely on the most in that class, the series of shots is like the biggest thing. I mean, if they do any change to the series of shots, or what is it? The takedown,
follow through. Yeah.
Because the cooldown on follow through is one of the best abilities that you've got in your rotation, because once you spec on the left tree, it's marksmanship.
Yep.
The cooldown on that is like every time you snipe, every time you ambush, every time you series of shots, like it'll cool down.
It's like
the follow through, and bam, it almost does as much damage as the last attack does. So that's the one thing that I could see them toning down a little bit, maybe, but that would be almost devastating, because that's one of those things that I use. It's just really just a part of the deal.
Exactly. It's almost it really. If I was able to do it, I would set that on a macro. Every time I hit, every time I hit this ability, that one automatically goes off, because it does. You got to hit that all the time. That's I can feel you there. I mean, the only thing I think that I'm afraid they might do, because one of the things about snipers, and I honestly don't know what just for the chat room, even though because I've not played a sniper in beta or anything. So again, this is totally off the cuff. I'm not saying anything. I'm speculating. The only thing that would hurt a sniper a lot, that they might again debuff is the either what is hunker down or
you're talking about the deep cover, the second one, the second level one,
and that's not that okay. So the thing that and I don't necessarily know that they would take that away, but all the other debuff or all the other defensive abilities that a sniper has they're pretty high. They're I would think I don't know. I'm just guessing out there. That they are one of the most highly defensive DPS classes out there. As far as
the problem is that they have to be, because I mean, if you come up against a melee class and you're not in cover, what is it? Damn it, now I can't remember the second level of cover.
It's like hunker down. I know it's hunker down on one. Either the sniper or the gunslinger. It's hunker down. I don't. Yeah. Anyway.
And when you're in there, you can't be pulled. You can't be. You can scrub dots, and it's a very, very protective measure. And I think if you lose that, you're just gonna be exposed. You're gonna have to do something to give you some kind of protection, because you're just entrench. Yeah, because you're just squishy, man. I mean, it's still squishy anyway when you're coming up against a marauder or a jug, let alone another melee class. It's just, I think that would be dangerous for them to take that away. Or I don't know. Like I said, I'm starting to feel it now, because I'm like, that's my class, dude. Don't change my class. I don't want to be that guy. I was like, because I know it's not going to be that bad, but it's just that could be that could suck. That could really suck.
Yeah, I'm feeling because one of the things that I know that happens in I don't necessarily know what happens as much in PvP, but I know in PvE our snipers can take a big hit. I mean, they can take a hit, a couple of hits from a boss. In fact, there's a joke in my in my raid group that, oh well, we'll just have Laura tank and she's the sniper, because she can. That's how well they can take hits from, at least from PvE mobs, and so that's the big thing that I can see a nerf in that. I don't want to necessarily see a nerf in that. In fact, we joke that it would be amazing if snipers actually got a tank tree. That would just change one of them to a tank tree. That would be amazing.
I do that on accident a lot. I tend to draw aggro with, oh damn it, I'm not supposed to do that. I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you throw on your shield and you're entrenched, you can sit there and take damage as long as that thing is going. I mean, that was the first thing that I had to learn with that class. Is like when people are coming at you or mobs are coming at you, is don't move.
Yes.
You sit there and you hang in and you blow them all away. So that was one of the hardest things to do, especially coming from playing. That was my third tune that I played after playing 2 melee characters. So it's like I didn't know. I'm like, what do I do? I'm supposed to move. I got to get away, or I got to angle this. It's you got to be an assassin, so you got to run around the back and stab them in the back, or whatever. And it's a whole different idea. So I think that they do have that ability, and if they scrub it, that would suck.
Yeah, it would definitely change the way that like I said, it would definitely change the way that you play the class. It'd be a lot more mobile class, which is that in and of itself, just changing a sniper or a gunslinger over to a mobile class would be a little weird. It would feel.
But like you said, though, that could be kind of cool, though. I mean, if you had that Spectre or that discipline, that you're able to do that, and that might not be the worst thing in the world. That might be kind of cool.
All right.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
It could be terrible.
We did have last week. We had the community cantina by the officially sponsored one by BioWare in Las Vegas. The week before that, Utini Cast had their own community cantina, but we did have the official sanctioned one, and Dolphy, which, by the way, if you're playing Star Wars: The Old Republic and you don't visit Dolphy like every single time that you log in, you're doing something wrong. So, and they got a few images, and I'm just I'll show a few of them here. Most of them are from the you know what? These are from the from Shadow of Revan. And this right here, I'm into that mount.
Ooh.
How do you get that, and how do I get that now? That's what I want. That's what I want to know.
That's pretty bitchin'.
It is. It's so far that is my absolute favorite. It kind of, what it kind of reminds me of, though. Unfortunately, it's Tron. A little bit Tron-esque.
A little bit. I was thinking of one of those. Damn it! What was the Incredibles? I was thinking of those the vehicles. On
yeah.
Circle.
Yeah. It's called. I should say this. It's called the Largo mount, and this is the concept art for it. But the concept art for it, pretty much, that's what it's going to look like, as far as this is concerned. And hands down for me, the best mount that they've put in the game. It's not even in the game yet, and it's the best mount. Yeah, I can't wait to see this. And obviously,
I like the Cadillac one. I mean, I like the Cadillac one they did for the for the slot machines, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Cadillac one's pretty nice. I don't like the baby blue one. I can do without the baby blue one, but the black one's good.
The black one's pretty rad.
Yeah. And this, let's see, we can open up this guy right here. Revan themed gear concept. I don't even know. I mean, is this like PvP gear? Haven't they shown the PvP gear and stuff already? I don't think they have. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think they have. I don't think they have.
Well, so what are your thoughts? Any?
Yeah.
I
don't know. That's I'd like to see what some die packs might do to that. You know, to see what would change intermittently. So, because if your primary, you know, that's 3 colors right there. So,
yeah.
It depends on what actually would change. I mean, it's kind of cool looking.
If it follows suit with everything else, it'll probably be the red and the black that change, and the gold stays.
Yeah, most likely. And then the gold, the trim is what stays.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool, but.
Yeah, I don't see any of my. Well, see, what I always try to do is always try to picture one of my characters in this. Would my character wear this? And I can't think of my character. I can't see my characters wearing that.
So what? I guess my Marauder is he Type 4? He's the big guy.
Oh yeah.
We call him the Marshmallow Marauder, is what we call him. Because he's kind of soft in the middle like me, and I kind of try to think of what he would look like in that, and that would be kind of disgusting.
Yeah. Well, yeah. On top of that. And they mentioned it in chat. Capes on a Marauder. Actually, the only class that actually works with capes are like Juggernauts or Guardians, because capes on a Marauder just looks silly when they're just jumping around, spinning. Yeah, it's just looks really silly. You know, you'd get tangled in that. It'd be shredded by your lightsaber. You know,
if you had if you had some area damage on your cape too, like that would be kind of cool. It was distressed, you know, it's like kind of cut up, and like that might be kind of neat. I don't know. The cape thing is always sort of because I did that with my Sentinel at first, and it looks weird. Like you'll do a smash, and it'll stay like folded up. So like, it'll glitch on you. Like, I noticed that more than anything, that's what glitched out the most in my character was the cape. It was always something with it'd fly off to the side when I'm on my speeder, and it would never go back to normal. Or
it clips inside your chest. That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't wear capes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Throws everything off.
The helmet looks pretty rad, though.
Yeah, the helmet looks good. Yeah, the helmet does look good. It actually looks. I think it's supposed to be reminiscent of this, and this is. By the way, for those who don't know, this is Revan. And
who?
I don't know, some dude.
What? No. I don't know what that is.
He has a purple lightsaber, so apparently he's Mace Windu. But this is I'm not sure where this is. I'm assuming it's on Yavin somewhere.
Trying to find some context clues in the background. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. And that's an Imperial Walker right there, obviously. And that guy I don't recognize at all. That's nothing canon. And I can't tell what that is back there. I think that might just be two guys. Yeah, I'm assuming that's. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that's on Yavin. It kind of looks like Yavin architecture, but then the only thing we've really seen of Rishi are like the wooden huts kind of things, and the So
Yar.
Right, exactly. And this doesn't look piratey at all, actually.
No, not at all.
So I'm assuming that's Yavin.
I don't know. There could be an anchor over there on the side with the chain there.
Now this I'm assuming is on Rishi because I've seen these boards before.
Mm.
That's about the only thing as far as what are they even showing? That's what I want to know. I saw this picture when I first saw it. I'm like, what am I looking at? Am I looking at this ship? I mean, because I've seen this ship on planets already, lots of planets. So I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Well, that shot right there is one that every game has right now. Like every single game, that's a promo shot. Whether it's Dragon Age or any of them, we're gonna line up all these characters in a row. This is what all of them look like together as they walk towards something evil.
Or they'll walk away from an explosion slowly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The only thing I think that would make this shot better is if it was backlit and they were all in silhouette.
That would be kind of cool. And then one by one, they light them up, and you get to see them then.
Ooh, that'd be sweet. I haven't seen that before at all, ever. Can't we just kill Revan? What do you think? Do you think we kill Revan?
Oh hell no!
No,
There's no way. No way. No. That's I mean, people have been begging for so long for him to come back. What are you talking about? We can't kill him off.
I don't know.
I mean, you just everybody just wants the mask again. You know, that's all. But
that's right. You know what? If the mask drops from Revan, kill him.
Then he dies.
Yeah,
he's
done.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't even know. Obviously, this is is it? Yeah, it's obviously a raid because we're looking at 6 people here. I'm assuming there's at least 2 other. Yeah, there's one over here. There's probably another one somewhere else that we can't see. So this is a raid, and assuming that's a raid boss of some sort in the sewer, apparently. And I'm looking at it again. I'm looking for visual clues and see if this. Are we looking at Rishi here? Or are we looking at Yavin? Because we know for certain, just because of the visual clues that we've seen in the different screenshots, that we do have one of the raids is on Yavin. But we don't have any indication that I'm aware of where the other raid is. They're just going to make him lame. Sonata wants a mount that looks like that.
That looks like what? Oh,
this thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
all right.
It depends on how it moves. Does it walk on 2 feet or is it 4?
It looks like
cool,
if these are like its babies, I guess, then it looks like it runs on all 4. But you know what? For me though, in order to get this mount, if this was going to be a mount, it would have to be that big. That's the only way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's why I ride a Rancor all the time.
Bigger than a Rancor.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we just killed it. Oh, that's.
And that's what it looks like dead. Pose off. Pose off. Yeah. Yeah.
He's got the Zerka guns there. Those are. You might not be able to see it. The spinny guns.
Yeah, trust me, I almost spent my cartel coins on that. So. I was. If they had to put the bomber on sale, I would have picked that thing up.
And this shot disappoints me. I saw this and I just sighed. I had to sigh because Republic on this side, Imperial on this side, Wookiee in the middle, but I just don't. It hurts my soul to see the Republic and the Empire working together.
Interesting. Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess a common enemy is one thing, right? But you just want. We want good versus evil, and we're evil. So hopefully, after the fight is over, they turn on each other.
I'm really, that's actually what I'm really hoping for. It's something like this. This is my scenario, if we will, if I can. It would be you fight Revan, you work together, you kill the dude or whatever, put him in carbonite, whatever, whatever, however it ends. You subdue Revan, and then immediately you start to fight each other. That's what I'm hoping for. Somebody says something pissy to one of the others, and they just start brawling right there. I would be totally into that. What would be really cool is if you could if it's like in the raid, and you could work Republic and Empire on the same raid, and then at the end you fight each other. I would be totally into that. Yeah.
Well, the light or dark side. You could, you go light side. It's let bygones be bygones. We'll fight this in the galaxy. Or you just kill each other. Go dark side. Go on dark side. That is a little strange.
It hurts. It actually I don't like this picture because it doesn't. I'm not comfortable with this picture. I'm absolutely not comfortable with it.
It's just like one of those scenes from a movie where it's just like hey, by the way, this is them walking in. It's just.
I'm hoping that's like the poster.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The poster scene. That this doesn't really happen, guys. Don't worry.
Because they're not showing all the pubs. They're just showing a couple of commandos back there. You know what I mean? It's not all the pubs there. So
yeah,
there's something else in that picture, and it may be a SWTOR logo off to the side, and it's the promo poster.
Maybe, yeah. I'm hoping. This, guys, if you, are you how big of a Star Wars fan are you? Do you?
Pretty big Star Wars fan.
You recognize this? Do you know who that guy is right there?
Yeah, I'm having trouble seeing the whole thing. Expand.
Oh, can I show you this? No, I can't.
It's my terrible eyesight.
This is on. Hold on, I'm gonna send this to you. Maybe you can see who that is.
Yeah, I think it's from interior Mexico somewhere.
Yeah,
Aztecs somewhere. Right, I think I seen that in Puerto Rico or something.
Yeah, I just sent the link to you. If you got it, you can take a close look at it. Because this actually while he's looking at that, it's like the sixth one down or something like that in the list. This actually comes from one of my favorite Star Wars locations. Obviously, it's Yavin. Everybody knows it's Yavin. But that particular what would you call that, temple, was in one of my favorite comic books. That exact temple actually was in one of my favorite comic books. You know who that is? Do you recognize the dude?
No, I'm not familiar with that. No.
That is Naga Sadow.
Okay.
And that is Naga Sadow's temple. Yeah, Naga Sadow. No, it's not. It's not Kresh. It's Sadow. And Tales of the Jedi. Yeah, somebody got it. That's from Tales of the Jedi comic book, and it's from 1993 or 1994. That's how old that is, by the way. That comic book is one of my favorites. And this guy is actually, he was the last Dark Lord of the Sith before the Emperor in SWTOR. He actually was exiled to Yavin, and he created the Massassi, which I think we have a picture of Massassi. Yes, we do. The next picture, in fact, is a Massassi. He created these guys. So, and obviously this is on Yavin. It's got a Massassi in there, and it also looks like a raid boss. And I look for these raid bosses. This is the thing that that kind of I don't want to say irks me a little bit, but most of the raid bosses that we see in like these images that we right here usually turn out to be one of those tank and spank kind of raid bosses, you know. And hopefully they do something interesting with these guys. But they always have done in general. But the ones that we always see always tend to be the tank and spank ones, and I'm afraid this is going to be one of those tank and spank kind of raid bosses again.
Yeah, not a whole lot of mechanics to it. Just bam.
Right. Is Naga Sadow the ghost? See, that they're asking in chat. Is Naga Sadow's ghost possessing Revan? Would that be dumb? I don't think it would be dumb. I don't. In fact, I had asked Charles Boyd, who actually was the writer for Shadow of Revan, I'd asked him point blank, is Exar Kun or Naga Sadow in Shadows of Revan? And he wouldn't tell me. He says, you got to play it. And so I have to give the same answer. You got to play it. Yeah, to find out if Naga Sadow is actually in there or not. Yes, this is the Amazing Beard Show.
Yes, I'll back away from the microphone one more time so you get the full effect. All right, there we go. Lovely. I still say don't shave it, but hey, it's good cause.
Yeah, it's a good cause. I don't know what we're looking at here. Obviously, I mean, to me, I don't see any indication. I'm trying to look at it. Hold on.
Would that wind up being a mount at some point?
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're not looking at a mount or something along that line. But this, I mean, it looks like you're looking at. I'm just guessing here because there's no other indication that we're looking at a Republic and an Empire mount of some. It's some sort of walker.
Yeah, so you get their pub, and then you get
Yeah.
I don't know, that it looks almost pretty similar to the mounts. It's because it's not like large enough to be anything like substantial.
Yeah.
Unless it has.
We don't have any perspective. I mean, we don't know. I mean, a guy could be
Depending
this.
on how the door,
Yeah. A guy could be this tall next to him, and we don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
or it could be this tall. So that doesn't really show us anything, unfortunately. And here's another Masasi. This is wallpaper. There you go. Go to Dolphy.net, get some wallpaper. That's that's pretty cool wallpaper. I might actually add it.
Yeah, found my new background. Awesome.
That's it. There was no. Usually they have like Q&A stuff. There wasn't really any of that. They have this thing, which pretty much was the same thing as they did last time. So that is. There you have it. That was the community cantina. Yay!
I'm still I'm in Austin, Texas, so I'm still disappointed that the one in Austin got bounced. So
they're going to be in San Antonio in January.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, San Antonio. I'm going to be in San Antonio hopefully in January. I'm looking. So,
all right.
So, yeah, and that's they're going to be at that's PAX South that they're going to be at, and I've already talked to my boss at Massively. I'm going to be there. If I drive, even if I have to drive, I'll be there. So, San Antonio is lame. Compared, I've been to Austin. I've been to Dallas. I've not been to San Antonio, but I have been to Austin, and Austin is pretty freaking awesome. I do like Austin quite a bit, and so
it's kind of rad.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm gonna have to say, just by what I know of Austin, it's got to be. I mean, San Antonio's got to blow comparatively.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that far away. It's just it's like, we're actually gearing up for it. I'm unfortunately the weekend of PAX. I'm gonna be gone, so I'm not gonna be able to go.
Oh
so
no!
I'm gonna be sailing. Don't get me wrong. I'm going on a heavy metal cruise, but it's not. So it's worthwhile.
You win.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, 60 metal bands and going to Jamaica. Damn it. Well, I really kind of want to go to the cantina too. Can I do both? No.
There was a press conference at San Francisco this last week. I know a lot of people just or press junk. I don't know what you call it. At San Francisco, a few of the websites, fan sites and whatnot went. Unfortunately, I did not. And some people did. I know that Pretty Little Sith went. She went for Curly and Run Radio. Yep. She will. We're not having a show next week, so we'll have to catch up with her the week after that. I'm not sure what's going to be there. I honestly have no idea. I do look forward to seeing what some of the fan sites, what they did see and what they've been able to pick up, because I highly suspect that they got to play Shadow of Revan, and and they could talk about it. So here's hoping that we get some really, really awesome news from that. One last thing, I wanted to mention this because this is one of the questions that gets asked a whole lot, and I'm glad that Eric Musco, the community manager, I'm glad he went to the forum and finally answered this question. We've suspected. I actually put this in. If you go to Massively, go to the Hyperspace Beacon, you'll find the Shadow of Revan FAQ, and I put this in there. I actually added this in just to make sure everything was clear. What is happening with accommodations in 3.0? We know that a lot of things are changing. We know that things have changed in the past. Like we know they got rid of the individual planetary comms and made one big planetary comm that covered all planets. And so what's happening to anybody that's watching here? All the PvE accommodations, PvE only accommodations, are all going to be consolidated when 3.0 launches. All of the PvE accommodations, that's planetary, that's classic, that's basic, that's elite, and that's ultimate. Everything is going to be consolidated to basic comms. Everything's going to be basic comms. And when 3.0 launches, classic comms and planetary comms are going away. Elite comms will still be there, but you'll have to re-earn them. And same with ultimate comms. Ultimate comms will also be there, but you will have to re-earn them. Anything that would normally give you planetary comms or classic comms will now give you basic comms. So elites and those kinds of things, so they'll drop basic comms. That's probably not in the notes, but free information for you. There you go.
Well, the biggest question about it has been the ratio. Has been what that ratio is going to be, and every indication was a 1-to-1 thing, right?
Well, he didn't. He actually said that's vague. Yeah, he was really, really vague about that one. In fact, and that's kind of I don't know why they're vague about it, other than to say, oh, we just don't know yet. Well, you got a couple weeks to figure it out, guys. Hurry up.
Well, I could see them being vague about it and go, okay, well, we're going to do the only ones that are going to be 1-to-1 are going to be elite comms, and then the rest of them are going to be like 10-to-1 or something like that. So then you don't waste your time doing this other content. You do stuff that only gets you elite comms because you want it to be 1-to-1. I could see them doing something like that to make it so that you don't stop what you're doing, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I've already I admit, just because of this, rating for me has just become whatever. I do it for totally for fun now. I don't do it to earn comms. I'm not trying to get, nothing. I really just kind of, you guys are rating? Okay, I'll go. It's not I'm not itching for the next raid like I would been, if these, because we'd actually, my guild had talked about, because they said they weren't getting rid of elite and ultimate comms. So my thought was initially, oh, well, if we just save up elite and ultimate comms, we'll be ready to raid. Boom, yeah, stockpile them. And yeah, and it just now I have no motivation to do that anymore, because they're getting rid of, and they're consolidating all of those. They're not getting rid. I say getting rid of, but that's not the correct words. They're consolidating those down to basic comms. Yeah. However, that being said, the PvP comms are going to remain exactly the same. Did we hear anything else? I don't think we've heard anything else other than... Well, it says right. It says... No. He actually said, and I quote, Warzone and ranked Warzone combinations are remaining exactly as they are now, and any combination you have will carry over to 3.0. The only thing that's going to change then is your armor. Your armor is going to be level 60 now instead of level 55. So... Yeah. I don't.
Well, and they're going to bounce all the. They've already talked about the bouncing out the Bruin and Brutalizer, and
right.
That getting a whole new set or whatever. So, yeah, that's all you're gonna have to re-earn it all. Yay! But that's part of the.
Yeah, that's part of the. That happens all the time. So that's not a.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, but as far as the comms are concerned, ranked and unranked are going to be the same as they were before.
Yeah, you can't. So, if you're a PvPer, start saving up. The only thing, the only thing is, and I do want to warn you, because I do have some friends that do this and that are currently doing this. If you buy, so one of the tricks that friends of mine would do is they'll buy weapons off the vendor and stockpile the weapons and trade them in. Cycle them in so they can actually have more than the cap, because they're cycling weapons. So they stay within the 2-hour mark or whatever. So there is a note in there that says that any items that you have purchased prior to 3.0 will have that have a refund timer will become bound to you in 3.0. So if you're doing that weapon cycling thing, you're going to keep all those weapons if you don't sell them before 3.0. So
because they're going to be bound, right? It's not going to be like they're going to be bound.
They're bound. Yeah, absolutely bound. Yeah. So keep that in mind, all you guys that are trying to sneak around the system. That's not going to work anymore. But overall, I mean, what are you thinking? What do you think of 3.0? Are you happy with what you've heard so far?
I'm stoked. I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready to get because I'm a fairly new SWTOR player overall. I mean, I'm a year in, so I came in after the last. Hut Cartel was already out when I joined. So I'm looking forward to this and seeing how it all plays out. And I think it's going to be good. More content is good. More story is good.
More content is good. If you want to see more of Chuck or his beard or both, go to badfeelingpodcast.com, or you can follow him on Twitter at Bearded Ape, or I'm not even going to spell out the Twitter handle for Bad Feeling Podcast. Just go to badfeelingpodcast.com.
No, it's Bad Feeling PBCST.
There you go. PBCST. Okay.
Yeah, podcast. Shorten it up. Once you type it in, you'll find it.
Yeah, once you just type in Bad Feeling, it'll come up.
Yeah,
that's all you need. Obviously, and if you're looking for more of me, you can find. Oh my gosh, I'm everywhere now. I'm on Gamebreaker every single day. I write for Gamebreaker. Their news, all sorts of gaming news. You can follow Gamebreaker at GBTV, at Gamebreaker TV on Twitter. Obviously, you can come here every single Thursday, except for next week because of Thanksgiving in the United States. We're not doing a show next week at 6:30 PDT or PST actually now. And you can also catch me if you'd like at Hyperspace Beacon. I talk about Star Wars, anything to do with Star Wars. Right now I'm talking about Star Wars Rebels and also obviously Star Wars The Old Republic. Hyperspacebeacon.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at shaddoe, SHADDOE. And tomorrow, I'm going to reiterate, tomorrow I am doing a charity beard off. It's No Shave November, and I'm going to raise some money for the American Cancer Society. And at different thresholds, I'll shave off parts of my beard. So
make those thresholds high.
Make them very high. All right. Well, thank you very much, Chuck, for coming on. I really appreciate you being here. And
dude, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Excellent. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.